Okay, so if you're like most professionals right now, you probably feel it too, right? This constant sort of AI anxiety.
Oh, absolutely. It's relentless.
Every week, it seems like there's some revolutionary new tool, a new model, a new framework.
Yeah, the pace is just intense.
Exactly. And keeping up feels almost impossible, never mind actually mastering anything in AI.
It's that classic knowledge debt situation, isn't it?
Right.
The demand for fluency just skyrockets past the time we actually have to learn.
Right.
But what's interesting here is this AI strategist and author, Jaideep Parashar. He's put forward this framework.
No.
It's specifically designed to tackle that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Hey.
He calls it the 1% rule of AI mastery.
The 1% rule. Okay, let's definitely unpack this. That's our mission for this deep dive.
Right.
We're looking into this idea that mastery isn't about these, huge disruptive leaps we feel pressured to make.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is simpler. Just get 1% better every single day. So we need to figure out, what are the practical, repeatable steps? What's the strategic shift required to actually make this work?
Precisely. We're moving away from that anxiety of catching up overnight.
Yeah, that pressure.
And focusing instead on, the compounding power of consistency, marginal gains.
Okay.
We want to see how these tiny improvements actually stack up over time and, create these potentially huge results.
And the claim here is, well, it's massive.
It is pretty bold.
The author says, follow this rule, improve your AI skills by just 1% daily, and you could be ahead of 95% of professionals within a year.
95%, yeah.
That's a jaw-dropping claim. It immediately makes you ask, how? How can something so small create such a huge gap?
Well, this really gets to the heart of compounding, doesn't it? Not just in finance, but in skills.
Right. We hear about it with money all the time.
Yeah. And when we think about improving a skill, we tend to think very linearly. 1 hour today equals 1 unit of improvement.
Makes sense.
But 1% applied to yesterday's knowledge and the day before's,
right,
over 365 days. That's where the exponential curve kicks in. You're improving the system of your learning, not just adding raw input.
Okay, so it's strategic. And this isn't just like motivational talk. The source material gives specific quantitative examples. That makes it concrete.
Yeah, let's look at those leverage points they talk about. What are the examples?
Okay, so example 1. Commit to learning 1 new effective AI prompt every day.
Okay, just once.
Just one. That adds up to 365 mastered prompts in a year.
Wow, okay.
Example 2. Focus on improving just 1 existing workflow each week, refining how you use a tool you already have.
So not chasing new shiny objects every week.
Exactly. That leads to 52 better systems by the end of the year.
52 refined systems. That's substantial.
And then there's the big one, the one tied to that 95% number, reading just 1 actionable AI insight daily.
Daily insight, okay.
Is apparently enough to ensure you're ahead of 95% of professionals by next December.
That 95%. Still huge, though.
It is. If the task is so simple, just 1%, why isn't everyone doing it already? What's the real hurdle? Is it about consistency, not capability?
That's a really good question. And I think that's why this framework is potentially so powerful.
How so?
It acknowledges that the hardest part isn't the learning itself. It's showing up on that Tuesday afternoon when you're busy, maybe a bit bored.
Yeah, the grind.
Right. But the required task here is so small. The psychological barrier, the resistance, it's minimized. That makes consistency actually achievable.
Ah, okay.
So that 95% gap probably exists, not because people can't learn AI, but because they lack the discipline for that tiny daily micro improvement.
They're waiting for the big breakthrough moment.
Exactly. Instead of just laying one small brick perfectly every single day.
Okay, so if consistency is the key, we need the roadmap, the how-to. And we have these 4 actionable steps from the framework, things you can apply, like right now. Let's get into the tactics.
Agreed. Where do we start that daily grind?
Step 1, it's tactical, immediate, improving 1 prompt a day.
Okay, prompts. That feels manageable.
Right. It's the simplest entry point. And it's not about finding some viral brand new prompt. It's about taking one you already used.
One that worked okay.
Yeah, exactly. One that worked okay. And just asking, how can I make this 1% better, more precise, clearer?
Okay, but how? What's the mechanism? Does the author give a specific way to do that refinement?
Yes, there's a specific 3-part flow. This aims to make prompting less of an art, more of a repeatable science.
Okay, I like repeatable science.
So you refine a prompt first by adding a clear role for the AI, like act as a chief marketing officer.
Got it. Give it the job.
Second, add specific context. For example, The target audience is Gen Z professionals working remotely.
Okay, so who is talking to and why?
And third, add a clear constraint, something to guide the output, like limit the response to 3 bullet points and keep the tone conversational but professional.
Role context constraint.
That's your 1% improvement for the day. Done.
That refinement.
Yeah.
That feels like real leverage. Okay, so if step 1 is about making your input 1% better, what's step 2?
Step 2 shifts focus to the tools themselves. The temptation in AI is always chasing the next big thing, 20 new tools.
Oh yeah, shiny object syndrome is real.
Totally. The 1% rule says, do the opposite. Disciplined focus. Build small, repeatable systems.
Okay, systems, not just tools. What does that mean practically?
It ties into sustained productivity. Instead of hopping between tools and having shallow knowledge of a dozen things.
Which is exhausting.
Right.
Right.
The goal is to build one deep, reliable workflow per month, using the tools you likely already have.
1 per month. Okay, precisely. So by year's end, you'd have 12 established systems actually powering your operations.
Like for drafting reports or analyzing data or coding repetitive stuff.
Exactly. And that reliability, that integration, that's where that 95% separation starts to really show up. You move from just reacting to tools to actually designing how they operate for you.
Okay, that makes sense. So, step 1, better prompts. Step 2, better systems. What's step 3?
Step 3 is about building knowledge inward. Active learning, it's called. Learning through micro-experiments.
Micro-experiments. I like the sound of that. Less pressure than, master this entire concept.
Right. This step is crucial for fluency. It basically says, don't wait for the big formal training course or the certification.
Learn by doing, but small scale.
Exactly. Applied learning. Stress testing AI in your actual day-to-day work. The sources give some really clear examples of what that looks like on, say, a Tuesday morning.
Okay, give me an example. Because I remember trying to automate my whole inbox once, and it was just chaos. Spectacular failure.
Yeah, we've all been there. Micro-experiments are safer.
Much smarter.
So for you, the listener, this might mean like automating one simple Excel task you do every week. Just one.
Okay.
Or maybe spending 20 minutes drafting one blog post section using an AI copilot.
Manageable chunks.
Or trying one specific AI tool just for pulling customer insights from social media comments. Low stakes.
Right. Every little experiment adds a layer of actual practical fluency, not just theory.
Exactly. It's the difference between reading about swimming and actually, getting in the water and learning one stroke.
Yeah.
Low stakes, high repetition practice.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, that naturally leads to the 4th and final step. Share what you learn.
Ah, yes. The teaching step.
But why? Why is sharing knowledge seen as an accelerator for personal mastery? Isn't that just giving away your edge after working 365 days to build it?
It seems counterintuitive, right? But the author makes a really strong case. Teaching forces clarity.
How so?
Whether you write an internal memo, maybe an article, maybe start a small video channel, whatever. The act of having to synthesize complex info so someone else gets it, that immediately solidifies it for you.
You have to really understand it to explain it simply.
Exactly. It accelerates your own mastery because you're forced to refine your concepts until they're transmittable. If you can't explain that 1% improvement clearly, maybe you haven't quite mastered it yet.
Okay, I buy that. Teaching is a learning tool.
Right.
Now, this whole framework, it gets a lot more weight when we look at the source. Jaideep Parashar. He's an AI strategist, founder of ReThynk AI, and author of over 40 AI books.
40 plus, yeah. That number alone is kind of staggering.
It really makes you think this consistency thing, it works.
His career path is basically the proof of concept for the 1% rule, isn't it? He definitely didn't write 40 books in one giant heroic effort.
You're kidding.
He applied the rule daily.
Did the sources mention how he handled, the resistance, the boredom, just the sheer grind of doing that 1% thing every day for years?
They did, by highlighting the microscale of his daily commitment.
Oh, okay.
His specific tasks were often, almost ridiculously small and manageable, like writing just 2 pages a day.
2 pages. Okay.
Or refining one specific workflow he was using. Or documenting one set of prompts that worked well.
So the key wasn't the size of the effort, but the certainty that some effort would happen.
Exactly. He took the anxiety out of the huge 40-book goal by focusing only on the 2 pages commitment today.
And those documented prompts, those little 1% daily refinements, they eventually became actual bestsellers, like ChatGPT Prompts for Excel and business writing.
That's right. He started just by tinkering, documenting, and ended up building a significant AI brand, seemingly just through that relentless consistency.
Wow. Okay, so placing this whole discussion in its original context, it came from the DEV community, right?
Yeah, that's important context. This isn't just some generic business advice. It's targeted at a community deep in high-stakes software development, career management.
And you can see exactly where that 1% mastery is critical by looking at their specific forums. Those are like the subgroups on the DEV platform.
Which ones stand out?
Well, you've got the vibe coding forum, that's AI software development, the Stale forum focusing on architecture and SRE.
SRE, set reliability engineering. Yeah, high stakes there.
Definitely. And even the crypto forum. These are all areas where, frankly, a 1% failure can be catastrophic.
So small daily improvements aren't just for getting ahead, they're essential for stability too.
Exactly. Which tells you that the pros relying on this cutting-edge tech, they're actively looking for this kind of disciplined, incremental approach. The urgency in that community feels real.
You could feel in the comments too.
Absolutely. One of the top comments really hit the big picture consequence of this daily 1% thing. It said, "Those who know AI by heart will lead the world."
Wow, that's a strong statement.
It connects that tiny daily task refining one prompt to this huge outcome, leadership relevance in the future economy.
Yeah, it frames the stakes.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think the summary is pretty clear.
Yeah.
AI mastery isn't about waiting for some grand disruptive moment or that one perfect course.
No big magic bullet?
No, it's about showing up daily, improving by just 1%, and trusting that compounding force of consistency.
So focus on one thing.
Yeah, pick one area, one prompt to use often, one tool, one workflow, and just make it a tiny bit better than it was yesterday. That's the core message.
And it seems the secret to getting ahead of that 95%. It isn't necessarily genius. It's just the willingness to do that small, daily, repetitive task that maybe others dismiss as trivial.
The unglamorous work.
Exactly. Which leads us to that provocative final thought for you to chew on.
Okay, let's hear it.
If consistency is the path to leadership, because, as the comment said, those who know AI by heart will lead the world, then what's the real cost? The compounding debt of not doing that daily 1% improvement. What professional opportunities might be compounding away from you right now just because you're waiting for that giant leap instead of taking the tiny, consistent step today?